Take two. Kyle here from All Media Reviews, here to do another Spotify Top 10 Song List reaction. This time I'm going to do Dream Theater, and I literally just looked at this in the last couple of minutes. So let's see. Pull Me Under, number one, I can totally understand. Makes sense. It was their most well-known song, 62,000 streams. I mean, you can look at the stream numbers too. Um, and it represents them to an extent. You know, it's an 8-minute song and everything like that. Even though it's from the early part of the band, that's fine. Having Another Day on there, Metropolis Part 1. My take on that is having Metropolis Part 1 on there makes a lot of sense. Having Another Day on there, given that you already have Pull Me Under from Images and Words, Another Day is fine, but there are other songs that are worse that could be the second most popular song on here. Now, having Panic Attack number 3, I think that has been driven partially, if not largely, due to the fact that it was on, I think it was Guitar Hero or Rock Band, one of the two. So people got to know that song. I don't hate Panic Attack as much as, like, it sounds like Muse, the Never Enough thing. Never Enough was more blatant, and even you could say Prophets of War off of Systematic Chaos. But again, with Another Day and Panic Attack, again, is this Dream Theater at their best? This is a mentality of, if you're gonna you want to check something out, the most common, or like the algorithm's gonna play it. It's not gonna be the longer tracks necessarily. It's gonna be something that, I don't know, is more accessible, I guess, in a way that just irks me as a fan. But in a way, I mean, we want people to discover your bands that you love in a way so they continue to have success and influence and that kind of thing. But at the same time, I feel like if you want to really get to know Dream Theater, playing Another Day and especially Panic Attack isn't. I mean, if you're already maybe hearing Pull Me Under, no, having a Metropolis Part 1 on there is good, though. Then that makes sense. Having the Dance of Eternity on there, it's fine. It wouldn't be my first choice for an instrumental, but it's kind of become their most popular instrumental. Having The Spirit Carries On there, fine. And that's sort of the trademark track from Scenes from a Memory, for the most part. That and Dance of Eternity. So that kind of makes sense. As much as my own personal taste, those would not be the choices I would take. I can understand that from a top 10 to the global world using Spotify. As I Am, again, that kind of falls in with the Pull Me Under category. It's them doing a more accessible song. The Enemy Inside, they got the Grammy nomination. All right, people, they got the Grammy. I got to check out the Dream Theater band. They got nominated for a Grammy. Overture 1928, I'm more on board with. Wither, no. I mean, what strikes me, though, is really, other than Metropolis, there aren't any epics on this, really. And Metropolis isn't even a full epic. And so if you really want to get to know Dream Theater, now part of it is you consider 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence an epic. You wouldn't be able to put, the way that Spotify separates it all, of course, they're all separate tracks. But there's no Change of Seasons, no Count of Tuscany, no Octavarium. I would hope at least one of those, especially Change of Seasons, would be in the top 10 songs to introduce the band, because you really want to know what Dream Theater is all about. You get to know them. You're listening to some Dream Theater. That's the one I would totally recommend to people, and this is where, again, Spotify fails. So, but what can you do? You can't manipulate, and I don't know how the algorithm works at this point, and because, again, it's not total plays. I guess one thing I could quickly do is just glance at how many streams, like, A Change of Season has. I'm not sure it's on here, though. That's the other, I talked about in the previous video, how part of the issue with some of these songs not being on here, or the other songs that could be better, because they're not on here. Yeah, it's not. A Change of Season isn't on here, so I wouldn't say it would be a sure bet, but I would wager there'd be a reasonable chance that would be on here, especially if Spotify existed long before 11. I'm surprised Octavarium's not on here. So the thing I don't understand, though, is that just learning more about Spotify, and maybe you get this with premium, I don't know. They don't list individual song streams. It's only those top 10, which sucks. Because, again, if you really want to get to know prog metal, and what Dream Theater is fully about. They're not just about Pull Me Under and the Dance of Eternity. They're about larger epic pieces, and you get it with Metropolis Part One at least. At least you do get that, which is a mini epic, but that's not even 10 minutes. But anyway, so that's my take. I mean, Wither would be the one. Among others, Wither doesn't really belong on me. If I was doing, I would take the Enemy Inside off of this too. There's other songs that I would pick easily. There's nothing from Awake on here. My favorite record, of course. Nothing from Awake. There's nothing from 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. I'm surprised Solitary Shell's not on here, but again, metalheads don't want poppy songs, or for that matter, Blind Faith. Those songs are popular, but are not. Again, we don't know. I don't know if there's somewhere. I'm gonna do some research on the next one of these before I do another one of these. What is there any way you can find stream counts published for songs on Spotify? Because that would give me a better indication. Chances are something like Blind Faith or Octavarium they don't have 14, 12,000 streams, 16,000, 17,000. They could be somewhere in the 5 to 10,000, and they just chose Overture 1928. But anyway, that's kind of my spin on the Dream Theater. I guess you look at the listeners. The Dream Theater top 10 songs on Spotify. Dream Theater fans, again, you probably don't care, but if you do find this, and just food for thought, just out of curiosity, what is your take? Do you think this is just terrible? Do you think it's fine? Because you want Dream Theater to have success and gain more of an audience. What's your spin on this? I'd love to hear about that. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we'll see you next time.